Phyllis Summers. What is she up to these days? According to teasers and updates for The Young and the Restless, Phyllis Summers has not fully recovered from everything that has happened in the past several years. Rather, she has encountered more difficulties than triumphs. Let's consider Phyllis's journey and where it has led her to this point, as the September 5th episode trailer suggests another pivotal time in her life. Phyllis's intense need for retribution. Just as Phyllis was reconciling with Jack Abbott in 2022, she learned that Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, was still alive and had been feigning death for years. Diane maintained that she had changed, but Phyllis was unable to trust her because she was afraid Jack would leave her for his child's mother. Phyllis got obsessed with exacting retribution because she couldn't stand the idea of Jack choose Kyle Abbott's birth mother above her. To drive Diane out of town, Phyllis teamed up with Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, and Nikki Newman. Unfortunately, their scheme didn't work out since Diane was adamant about staying, and eventually, driven by Phyllis's own jealousy, she married Jack. Phyllis pretended to be dead and went to her own funeral under false pretenses. Phyllis's life took a drastic turn. At first, it seemed as though she had perished in a fiery ambulance accident, but with the help of her husband, Jeremy Stark, James Hyde, she staged her death. They thought they had the ideal plan, but Phyllis was so overwhelmed by Stark's demands and threats that she attacked him with scissors in a fit of rage. In the end, Phyllis revealed that she was still alive and well to her daughter, Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. She begged her to keep this a secret, which finally caused her marriage to Kyle to fail. Summer defied her mother's wishes by telling her brother Daniel, who then revealed to everyone their mother's death ruse. Many people's trust was betrayed by Phyllis, and things got worse. Phyllis worked hard to win back the confidence of everyone around her, even old enemies and friends. Nevertheless, they are nevertheless troubled by this circumstance. Everyone no longer trusted Phyllis. Phyllis had ongoing difficulties. She started acting needy and nervous while pursuing Danny, who finally decided on Christine Cricket Williams. It should come as no surprise that Phyllis found their reunion difficult. She pretended to go on a date with Tucker on New Year's Eve in an attempt to make Danny jealous, but it didn't work out. After that, Phyllis began pursuing other ex-partners, and things deteriorated. She also went for Nick Newman, one of her previous companions. Her children were afraid they could lose their mother this time when Phyllis was involved in a car accident in November 2024 that left her unconscious and in critical condition. In an attempt to exact revenge on the Jordan and Ian Ward were responsible for the collision. Sharon Newman told Nick about Heather Stevens after the catastrophic car crash. When it was discovered that Ian and Jordan were the real culprits behind the horrifying murder, she believed she had killed her and threw her body in the river. In the aftermath of Heather's murder, Phyllis became involved. Sharon was driven to the verge of insanity by Jordan and Ian's manipulation of her medication, which led her to blame herself. Because she didn't trust Sharon, Phyllis got involved, and the terrible pair used their old animosity to increase the tension. Nick was warned about Sharon by Phyllis, who also asked whether she was to blame for Heather's passing. She was determined to bring Daniel, who was romantically involved with Heather, the mother of their child Lucy, to justice. They had been living together since Daniel had previously made amends with Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, his childhood sweetheart, and then dumped her for Heather when she returned with Lucy. A madman kidnapped them and made them get along. Alan Loron, Christopher Cousins, who was tricking Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, kidnapped Phyllis and Sharon earlier this year. He made her think he was his twin brother, a psychiatrist and Ashley's friend. After making Phyllis and Sharon get along, they made amends and became friends. But when they were stranded at Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, French home in Nice, the trauma reappeared. Kane confessed that he was actually Aristotle Dumas. Despite this, Phyllis was still interested in working with him since she believes they might have a great working relationship, especially given her technical expertise. Phyllis feels confident about taking over all of Genoa City's enterprises after learning about artificial intelligence, but Kane no longer wants to work with her. What is Phyllis going to do next? Check in to see what's going on with Y&R at the moment. For news, updates, and spoilers about The Young and the Restless, return here frequently. Roger Howarth's mysterious character brings romance to Phyllis's new love. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Roger Howarth will make his surprise TV debut this autumn. Could he provide the romance that Phyllis Summers so sorely needs? It's time to discuss it. A good love story is what Phyllis Summers needs. Fans of The Young and the Restless are reminded by spoilers that Phyllis has recently been prone to the always the bridesmaid, never the bride mentality. Phyllis re-entered the romantic triangle between herself, Christine Blair, and Danny after Diane Abbott, Susan Walters, rushed into town and easily grabbed Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman from Red. While there was a suggestion that Phyllis harbored affections for her former employer, Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, those feelings were swiftly dashed when he dismissed her from Abbott Communications and replaced her with Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope. Phyllis was once again burnt in that position. Can the authors create Phyllis a love tale with a man who only has eyes for her? Everyone deserves love. Red-hot chemistry is needed by Phyllis. Fans may be aware that Michelle Stafford and Roger Howarth were originally teamed at General Hospital when she played Nina Reeves and he played Franco Baldwin. Is it possible that Y&R will try to replicate some of that magic? It truly depends on who Howarth is playing in the end. Any dreams of Howarth and Phyllis falling in love would be dashed if he takes on a villainous role and appears on the soap opera for a little period of time. However, Phyllis's romantic life may benefit if Howarth is the recast of Tucker McCall, previously portrayed by Trevor St. John. There may be hope for Red and her supporters who wish to see her with a long-term partner, even if he isn't the McCall recast, but rather a character with longevity. Do you believe that Roger Howarth's character and Phyllis Summers might get along well? Could he be portraying Tucker? Leave a comment below. For the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates, visit our website frequently and watch your favorite CBS soap opera every day. Is there a shakeup in Genoa City, with new faces taking the place of loved veterans? Two well-liked soap performers are poised to join the CBS series, according to spoilers and updates for The Young and the Restless. Although fans are overjoyed to see these performers back on television, some are worried that the soap opera may fire some of its more seasoned cast members in order to save money. On the way comes legendary actor Roger Howarth. Actor Billy Flynn from Days of Our Lives was drawn to The Young and the Restless earlier this year. It was eventually revealed that his enigmatic character was a recast of Kane Ashby. The soap opera just announced that 2 additional well-known soap stars will be joining the ensemble, which is an unexpected development. Roger Howarth's character, Austin Gatlin Holt, was shot and died in 2023, marking the last time fans of General Hospital saw him. He had previously played Todd Manning on the ABC soap opera One Life to Live. He brought Todd to Port Charles for a short time before GH was prohibited from employing characters from OLTL due to a copyright issue. He will now play an enigmatic character in the CBS serial opera. It is expected that he will soon start filming Young and the Restless sequences. Tamara Braun is joining the CBS soap opera as well. After Sarah Brown left the role of Carly Spencer on General Hospital, Tamara Braun became well known for playing the character. Most recently, she played Ava Vitale on Days of Our Lives. She revealed her departure from the soap opera on April 1st, and regrettably, it wasn't an April Fool's joke. Young and the Restless actor Michelle Stafford, who is pals with Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth, expressed her enthusiasm on Instagram about the new cast members. The actress simply wrote, "The soap has already disclosed that Tamara Braun will be playing a new character named Sienna Bacall. However, the show hinted that this character has personal connections in Genoa City." In response to a humorous suggestion from a fan that Tamara Braun play Summer Newman, the daughter of her character, Phyllis. In order to make room for the new characters, fans fear that other characters will be written out. Fans of Young and the Restless are worried about the present cast, especially the seasoned actors, even though the casting of Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth is a noteworthy accomplishment. Connor Floyd left the soap opera after Billy Flynn was added, despite the fact that Connor assumed Flynn's position at DOOL. Damian Kane, Jermaine Rogers, and Cole Howard, J. Eddie Peck, were also recently fired from the CBS soap opera. Fans worry that some of their favorite veterans may be let go to make place for the newcomers, even though several well-known veterans, like Eric Braeden and Melody Thomas Scott, are likely secure. Nonetheless, They ought to feel reassured that their preferred soap opera still has the highest ratings. Check in to see what's going on with Y&R at the moment. For news, updates, and spoilers about The Young and the Restless, return here frequently. Over Kane, Jack and Billy engage in a heated argument. This is your recap for The Young and the Restless September 11th, 2025 episode. The Young and the Restless events. On The Young and the Restless, Sally, Courtney Hope, appeared in her party attire to meet Nick, Joshua Morrow. Photo. CBS. Jack gave Diane, who was upset that she was unable to assist Kyle, who had gone upstairs, a hug at the Abbott estate. Billy then texted Jack to let him know the part was on hold. Jack was furious because the text did not give him the complete narrative. He made the decision to find out. Billy made the point that AI is a deadly weapon at society. Phyllis quickly clarified that Billy did not mean lethal in a spooky, horror movie sense, but rather in a pecuniary sense. Billy inquired as to how it would operate. Kane indicated that after he received his response regarding Billy's pledge of loyalty, Billy would receive that information. Billy's proposition was portrayed negatively by Sally. Sally was advised she was in over her head by Phyllis. In contrast to Phyllis, Sally claimed that she and Billy were not desperate for victory. Sally wanted specifics. "This is all a big scam," she said, turning to Billy. Billy stated that he thought Kane would reveal everything, but he still needed to know more. Billy might simply cancel providing his information, like he canceled the Abbott communications party, Sally joked. Sally went off to repair the damage. Billy trailed behind. Kane's confidence was misplaced, according to Phyllis. "Billy can't run with the ball on this," she said. "He'll make mistakes." Kane was playing things so privately, so Phyllis asked him why. She told Kane she had huge dreams. Kane was also informed by Phyllis that Sally would persuade Billy not to help Kane in any way. Phyllis inquired as to whether Kane was arranging Billy. Kane warned that if he tried it, Jill would hit him. Phyllis didn't mind if Billy was being used as a scapegoat by Kane. Kane informed her that he had nothing else to share. If Phyllis wanted to, he continued, she could tell him to go to hell. Phyllis assured Kane that she had no fear of him. "He was just strange," she said. Kane stated that since they work as a team, he wanted Phyllis's hands to remain clean. He inquired as to whether she was aware of how uncommon it was to come across someone you could admire. Kane described her as bold and intelligent. "Are you certain that I'm strange?" Billy inquired. She did, according to Phyllis, who also pointed out that it wasn't even good comedy and advised him to refrain from doing it until he understood how to do it well. He would take notice of her idea and ask her to sit down. Although he did trust her, Kane told Phyllis that Chancellor Industries wasn't her ultimate goal. Sharon asked Nick how he was doing at Crimson Lights. "She doesn't need to be drawn into any more family drama," Nick said, even though he would love to tell her everything. Sharon urged Nick to open up to her about everything. Sharon was confided in by Nick. He informed her about Kane and his ambition to advance the situation. According to Nick, Kane possesses software that can breach a business's system and seize financial control. "It's too late by the time you realize it," Nick remarked. "That isn't possible, is it?" Sharon inquired. Victor believed it was feasible, Nick reassured her. Victor would stop Kane with blackmail, Nick replied. Of course, Sharon thought. Nick revealed that Colin obtained the funds to launch Arabesque through deception. Nick believed Victor would target Jabot with the program. Nick questioned why Kane was acting so avaricious. Since Phyllis was already being lured in, Nick suggested that Sharon avoid Kane. Sharon noted that Phyllis is astute and didn't require his assistance. Nick was worried that Phyllis could have to serve time in prison. Nick was commended by Sharon for becoming Phyllis's friend. Nick claimed that he had to stop Phyllis if she was pursuing Kane through a minefield. Sharon pondered whether Cassidy would be the first target of Kane. Nick declared that he would not allow anyone to take over his mother's business, Chancellor Industries. If Kane pursues Chancellor, Nick warned, even Phyllis won't be safe from him. Nick has a lot on his mind, Sharon observed. The conversation turned to their children. While meeting with a developer for a new club in Los Angeles, Sharon said that Noah might be returning to the United States. Nick was impressed. According to Sharon, Noah seemed content but wary. Nick inquired as to whether Noah would be returning to Genoa City. Sharon stated that she didn't want to ask him specific questions. Nick made the decision to take them to Los Angeles. Go visit him. Sharon concurred. Nick informed Sharon that the Abbott Communications launch party had been postponed and that if those who were anticipating food didn't receive any, there might be a huge line at the Burger Barn. Nick promised to visit Society to find out what was happening. Sharon volunteered to accompany him. Sally was furious that Kane informed the media that the party was off when she and Billy were at home. She had the feeling that she would be the one to fall. Perhaps Kane's proposal wasn't crazy, Billy said. Billy's purchase of Kane's pitch shocked Sally. Billy stated that additional information is required. They'll never know the truth, Sally exclaimed. Sally noted that Kane is dangerous and would continue to manipulate them. Billy questioned whether this was all true. He might be able to defeat Victor. Kane urged Billy to fight Victor, and Sally brought up the fact that Victor was blackmailing Kane. Sally noted that what Victor might do would be a major violation of the law. Phyllis claimed that the AI cleaned up after itself, according to Billy. Sally made fun of paying attention to anything Phyllis said. Billy claimed that all of this would enable him to regain control of Chancellor Industries. Sally said that Kane was taking advantage of her and Billy. At that moment, Jack came in. Billy, what the devil is happening? Jack was curious to know. He was incensed that he had not been informed that the launch had been cancelled. It was postponed, Billy remarked. Jack was curious as to why. They have a stronger launch strategy, Billy added. They appear to be idiots, according to Jack. Billy and Sally were dressed for the party, so he instantly realized that they might not have cancelled it. Jack claimed that Billy was delaying him once more. Jack, why would I lie to you? Billy let out a bark. Sally interrupted Billy as he was still lying to Jack, stating that both she and Billy were equally shocked by the cancellation of the launch. Kane called off the party, she disclosed. Jack was curious as to how and why. Billy stated that they simply require time to determine their next course of action. Sally threatened to leave him both emotionally and professionally if he didn't make a decision by tomorrow am. Sally got out. Jack was advised by Billy that he needed time. Jack stated that they needed to reconsider their course of action if Billy was unable to inform him of what had transpired. Jack was chastised by Billy, who challenged him to withdraw the funds. Jack stated that Abbott Communications would need to rename itself and that he wanted all of the funding returned. Billy mentioned that it was also his name. The fact that it was their father's name infuriated Jack. Jack questioned Billy's motivation for starting Abbott Communications. Billy was suspected of using Chancellor Industries as his most recent fix. He gave him what he wanted, so Billy told Jack that he was angry. I'm after my money, Jack declared. He advised him to give the business a ring at Ashby Communications. Jack informed his brother that he was on his own. Sally went back to Society to speak with Phyllis and Billy. Phyllis attempted to persuade Sally that she and Kane were more familiar with Billy than she was. Billy wouldn't listen to her, she said, and Sally would come to the conclusion that she wasn't the one guiding her. Billy would have to do what he had to do, according to Phyllis, or Sally would have to leave. She stated Sally might start living her life more quickly the sooner she understood it. Sally promised that Billy would not be involved in Kane's scheme. Billy needed a victory, Kane informed Sally. Was it really her intention to deny him that? Yes, Sally responded, if it meant preventing Billy from going to jail. Sally then arrived to Crimson Lights. She informed Nick that Kane was responsible for the cancellation of the party. How could they stop him? She questioned Nick. Sally warned Nick that Billy was on the verge of losing his mind. Nick concluded by asking Sally how she could prevent Billy from being Billy. Before they left, Sharon asked Sally if she could get her something. Sally claimed that this was her problem to resolve. Nick said that it was their problem. When Jack got home, he informed Diane that Kane had called off the party. Billy believes that Kane will help him obtain everything, he said. According to Jack, Billy advised him to withdraw his funding if he so desired. Diane didn't want to be correct about Billy's action because Jack invested in his brother, whom he loved, rather than a business. Billy is flying without a net on his own. Jack thought. Let's see how he likes that. Later, Jack demanded that Kane leave before he ruined their entire family. Diane concurred. When Nick and Sharon got to society, they saw Kane and Phyllis enjoying a drink at the bar. Sharon proposed that they quickly head back to the burger barn. Kane assured Phyllis that they would not be stopped by anyone or anything. Billy, meanwhile, had a flashback in which Victor promised to reimburse him for his actions with Chancellor Industries. And he remembered a private time with Sally. Returning to the present, Sally was not present when Billy called out to her. At Chancellor Park, Sally sat by herself on a bench. Billy then recalled that he had discussed with Phyllis Kane's desire to assist them in repurchasing Chancellor Industries. Then he recalled Jack telling him that his triumphs over Victor were not a good way to gauge his life. Jack went on to say that Billy was completely lacking in common sense. Returning to the present, Billy swore he would find Victor. On weekdays, watch brand new episodes of The Young and the Restless on Paramount Plus and CBS.